What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If at any moment in the video you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit the like button. This is Speech to Beast, and today we're going to watch this clip from the Pat Ben-David show. He has Charleston White on, and in this part of the interview, Charleston White talks about, what he thinks about God, what he thinks about church, what he thinks about men, as far as having a male figure in his life, so on and so forth. We're going to watch this clip, and I'm going to break this all the way down. Let's get into this.
Hallelujah, Pastor. You go back to the same problems, same conditions, and most people's lives don't transform.
You don't think people make decisions when they give their life?
No,
when they get baptized?
I think when people give their life to God, they going through something, they dealing with something. Soon as shit get back right, they sneaking and having unmerited sex. They still getting drunk. They still masturbating. They still watching porn. I think everybody's full of shit when it comes to God because you.
Hold on. Time out. So, there's some truth as to what he's saying in regards to how many people give their life over to God and then they still, turn to sin after the fact, right? There are people who turn to sin after they give their life to God, but that is not the case, right? In most cases, or in half the cases, people who deliberately or purposely turn their life over to God do try to live a righteous life for the most part, but no one's perfect, so we must keep that in mind. Let's keep going.
You're gonna do something against God every day. Stop trying to be perfect.
You believe in God?
Yeah, I do. But I ain't trying to live for God. God gave me a choice of free will. I don't want to be a godly man.
You don't want to be.
I want to fuck a bunch of women.
So you made that decision.
Yeah. I get God on the deathbed. But right now, I'm living for me. Fuck God.
That is insane. That is absurd what he's saying, right? He's saying he don't want to live for God. He want to use his free will to have sex with as many women as possible, right? That's in a nutshell what he's saying. That is absurd. And he's saying that he can get God on a deathbed. Now, the reason why what he's saying is dangerous is because you don't know when you're gonna die. You may not be in a deathbed, right? You may not be in a deathbed. You might be walking down the street. You might be on an airplane. You might be in a car. You might be walking on a trail somewhere. You don't know when you're gonna die. So this is very dangerous. Him pushing this rhetoric that he can get God on a deathbed, and he ain't gotta live for God prior to that. That is insane. Let's keep going.
I believe in him. I get the same blessings if I believe, if I don't.
He's saying he believe in him, and he gets the same blessings if he believe in him or if he don't believe in him.
The sun shines on the bad just like the rain fall on the good. Good things happen to bad people like bad things happen to good people. God ain't got nothing to do with that.
You think
Terrible logic. And he said that God has nothing to do with that. In Luke 22, 31 in the Bible, Luke 22:31, Satan asks God, can he do harm to Simon? I'm going to say it again. Satan asks for permission. Ask God for permission to do harm to Simon. God can protect you. He does have the ability to protect you from anything. Or he can allow for bad to happen to you. That is a real thing. He can allow for things bad to happen to you, or he can protect you from certain things. That's why certain things happen to certain people. And certain people are protected from certain things. Now, we all have our trials and tribulations, right? No one will have a quote unquote perfect life. But God does protect us. It is up to him. He does have something to do with it. Let's keep going.
this is the right example on the way to live your life? Because you're saying you want to do net positive.
Man, listen, you live your life.
No, I'm not saying, no. Those are two different things.
Let me say, yes, I think it's the right message.
Tell me why.
Because can't nobody dictate to you about your life. God gave it to you.
No, that's not what I'm saying, though. That's not what I'm saying. You're right. You can do whatever you want to do.
I don't think God is real. I think God is questionable.
Well, then that's a different conversation. You just told me.
Now, the brother just said he believed in God. Now he's saying he don't believe God is real. Which one is it? The Bible speaks about the double-minded man. This brother is double-minded. Now, I don't hate him, right? This isn't me hating him. I've been checking him out for about 3 years, around 3 years, somewhere in that ballpark at this point. But this man is double-minded. Be careful. Be very careful with him.
You said God is real, then you changed it.
I said I believe in God,
Right.
based off what my mother said.
But you don't believe God is real.
I read Revelation,
Yeah.
and I read Genesis. Now I don't believe God is real because I just told you about children being
What?
sex trafficked. Where's God
By
for them?
who, though? By who?
By whoever. I don't.
You know, now the commercial gonna play, but he's saying that he's gonna use this whole trope of bad things happening to children, bad things happening to quote unquote good people. Yes, we will all go through different things, right? In the Bible, it says, do not lean into your own understanding. Yes, these things happen, and the majority of people in the world do not like the fact that bad things even happen to children. Let's keep going.
30 protein sticks for just
Government, whoever. So if God is
that's only $1.20 each.
no,
By the people.
by what people?
By the people.
The government, whoever. So if God is real, why he don't stop those people? If God is
'Cause
real,
he gave free will to
okay,
God
okay,
like
okay.
you.
So that's why I don't think God is real. Because if God is real,
Right.
why hadn't white people suffered for what they did to slavery? If God is
Wow.
real,
Then
This is insane. In regards to slavery, right? Those people are dead, right? The people, the slave masters or whoever, they're dead and gone. You expect for all white people to suffer because of slavery? If I'm not mistaken, slavery went on in every continent or in every country or whatever, right? There was some form of slavery going on. So back then it was the way of life. Now many of us disagree with that way of life. And there were many evil, slave masters. But right now in 2025, you're expecting for all white people to be punished because of slavery. And that's your justification as to why God isn't real. What kind of mess is that? Let's keep going.
for you, you're conflicted.
no, I'm not conflicted. I don't believe people know God to tell me God is really real.
No, originally you said you believe.
I believe in God. That don't mean I think he's real. I believe in the boogeyman. I don't think it's real. I
What?
believe in ghosts, the spirit. I
So
don't know they're real.
do you have faith?
That's
No,
insane.
I got faith in me.
You got faith in you.
Because everything I heard about faith, I think is bullshit.
So let me tell you, who is the biggest man in your life that
That's
let you down?
crazy.
No,
No man's ever let
no
you
man.
down.
I've never been connected to a man.
You heard that. He said, I have never been connected to a man. Remember that. He said, I have never been connected to a man. Let's keep going.
Father,
Never been connected to him to be let down.
did you ever meet him?
Never.
So that's the biggest letdown.
That's not a letdown.
Well, you
because
never met him.
I had uncles and granddaddies to replace that letdown. You don't even know.
He said he had uncles and granddads to replace that. But a minute ago, he just said he's never been connected to a man. What I just said about double-mindedness. This is what you're witnessing, a lot of double-mindedness. He said he never been connected to a man. Now he's saying he got uncles and granddaddies who took the place of his father who wasn't there. Double-mindedness.
But there.
But there's different
No,
than father.
Listen. Out of sight is really out of mind. There are many kids who father is gone and another replacement have stepped in and filled the void of the father.
There's a different
No. Man, listen, if you
But many of those kids still long for their father. They still long for him.
never seen your daddy, you don't have attachment to it. That's bullshit.
Yeah, but that's a different
No,
story.
that's a childhood abandonment. That's a childhood abandonment issue that you hold in secretly. That don't affect you as a disappointment. You never expected nothing to be disappointed.
Not so I'm listening to you. And it's not your fault. I'm not sitting here saying anything that
Man, I don't give a damn what you saying. I'm telling you, I ain't never been connected to a man. To be,
I understand.
Listen, I had a granddaddy. I had an uncle who kept me with him.
Yeah.
I don't know that's not my daddy.
He said he had an uncle and a granddaddy who kept him with them, right? So that means that he was connected to a man or men. it means that they did play as father figures in his life. See, he's double minded. He's going back and forth. 1 second he's saying he haven't connected to a man. Now he's saying his uncle and the granddaddy. Which one is it? He's all over the place.
The presence of a man is the father, not the title.
Yeah, but when a man grows up, eventually,
I don't
you
get
you said something earlier.
Listen, when I grow up, I have no connection to a man. So no man, I ain't been hurt by a man. I had no connection to a man to be hurt. No expectation, no nothing.
He said he had no connection to a man. He just said it again, but he just said that he was connected to his grandfather and his uncle. They kept him with him. Which one is it? He all over the place, just talking.
You know what you said at the beginning of the podcast?
What?
You said something very powerful. You said, you know, when you were a kid, you and your older brother, he was a big guy, and he was in and out of juvie. And then your mother ended up having a daughter. I think you said later in life,
yeah.
She ended up having a daughter. And then mom worked for GM, and she worked after you guys got home. So she would prepare your meal. She would tell you to do the homework, and she's going to call at these times. You guys better be home or else. And if she came home, and if you guys didn't do what she told you to do, she'd wake your ass up and talk to you.
Now, where the man is?
But exactly, that's what I'm saying. But because there wasn't a man, she couldn't check you to raise boys. I was raised by a single mother. You don't know what the
fuck you talking about. I'm telling you, I got uncles and granddaddy. You think my granddaddy them ain't around? Checking my brother and them? We have.
See, now he said we got the uncle and granddad. He all over the place.
I'm repeating your words.
No. But I never told you it wasn't no man. You're assuming. I got a bunch of.
You just early. The first thing you said was no man. That's the first thing you said, brother. The wasn't no man. When y'all started talking about men, when you asked about absence of a man in your life,
uncles and granddaddy.
I understand.
So if you know so I had the presence of a male.
Right.
I ain't the black kid that grew up poor with no. I had plenty of men.
Now he's saying he had plenty of men. I hope y'all listening to this. I hope y'all see this. Now the brother saying he had plenty of men. You go from no man, out of sight, out of mind. He's saying that if you don't see one, you don't know one, you good. You don't know what you're missing. Now he's saying he had plenty of men. Which one is it?
To do, kid. I had my own room in the third grade.
You know what I love about you, Charleston? Let me tell you what I love about you. And I have so much respect for you. Is, when I was a kid and I was, we didn't have a lot of money. We're like a, what do you call it? Section 8 and welfare kid.
See, I don't know what. Hey, hallelujah, pastor. You go back.
All right, guys. You saw that. You heard that. That's the part of that interview I wanted to play and speak on. Now, that's Charleston White on the Pat Ben Davis show. And crazy interview. Now, Charleston White, from Texas, he's been doing this thing for years now. He's getting to the bag. He's making good money off of every interview that he signs up to do. Now, in this interview, as far as this part of the interview that I posted, I just wanted to show the double-mindedness in the fact that we got to be careful who we follow. We got to be careful who we listen to. Now, I don't dislike Charleston White. I think he's a funny guy. He's a comedian. He's an entertainer, right? He's going to put on the show any interview he does. And in the past, he has said many things that need to be said, right? Many harsh truths. He has said some things that need to be said. So I ain't got no smoke with him. But when you come out here, you're disowning God. You're saying on 1 second you believe in God. Another second you're saying you don't think he's real. You're saying that people who follow God are not serious in their walk. And then when you talk about how or the insignificance of having a male figure in your life because you said out of sight, out of mind. And then in the same breath, you turn around and say you had your uncles and your granddaddies and all of that. All over the place. And a lot of that can be misleading to many young women and men, right? It can be very, very misleading. And, Charleston usually gets thousands and millions of views on his interviews. So I know a lot of people are watching, and I just want you all to be careful. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you listen to, because right there, he displayed a lot of double-mindedness. And the Bible speaks heavily about double-mindedness, right? And he says that God has no control as to what happens to you, right? And again, in Luke, I believe I said 22, verse 31, Satan asked for permission to do harm to Simon, right? But the Lord stopped him, right? So God is here to protect us, right? He's here to protect his children. So just be careful when you listen to some of these entertainers, right? A lot of double-mindedness going on, again, to disown God and to look down on the significance that a man plays in a child's life. It's very, very dangerous. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. I could be off on this. Remember, guys, keep God first. Keep God first. Got a lot more content coming for you guys. I'm going to do some lives. I want some guys to tap in, ladies and men tap in. Hey, let's get this thing popping, man. I appreciate all your support. I love you all. Be blessed.